Hey guys, it's Michael with Films here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to achieve a cinematic look to your film or any video you have using After Effects. Note that we're going to be simulating a red $10,000 cinema camera by using high contrast and stuff like that. So if that interests you, stay tuned because we're going to move on to that right now. Okay, so firstly what we want to do is open up After Effects as our main target here, because that's the program we're going to be using to simulate this. As you can see, we have our clip here and we have our video. So what we're going to be doing is heading over to the Effects and Presets tab. If you do not see this, you can just simply go to your window and just click on Effects and Presets, and that should pop up right there. Now, inside of Effects and Presets tab, what you want to look for is Lumetri Color. This is basically a simple color correction tool that you can use to simulate any camera you want. So you're just gonna drag that onto your clip. As you can see, we have our video clip here. It already looks pretty good, but how do you spice this up a little bit? So let's open basic correction. First, I'm going to remove some of that contrast to get that blue cinematic feel to it. And what I'm going to do is also increase the contrast, and that's going to look similar to that. And I'm going to decrease the highlights, and I'm going to decrease the shadows to get more black areas. And we are also going to remove some of the whites, or we can in fact raise the whites to get a more cinematic look. For saturation, I'm going to increase that, let's say, to about 106%. So for creative, what I'm going to do is actually change the shadow tint to a more red color. That's going to give a cinematic vintage look. There we go. And so for the highlights, I'm just going to preserve that by making it a bit red, similar to what we just did with the other video. Now, as you can see, this already creates a very cinematic look, and that's a pretty good cinema grade. Now, we can check what it was before and after by clicking this FX button here. So if we just click that, this was before, this is after. As you can see, big improvement, a lot of higher contrast here. You can also play around with the vibrance and sharpness. I'm going to increase the sharpness by about 5%, or probably about 6. That's good enough. Now what we're going to be doing is closing off all of these tabs here, and we're also going to be messing with the color wheels. You can mess around with the midtones. You can either change that to a blue color, so if you want to achieve that cinematic look. As you can see, that creates a different entire tone here, so you can play around with that as much as you want. So keep in mind that you can change this to your preferences. So I'm just going to collapse that here and add some vignette, probably about -2. That should be good enough, in fact. And we're just going to feather that by 100%. Now we're going to use the curves tool and use the reds. We can create a simple contrast curve here by simply increasing here and simply moving this further. This should create a more cinematic look and give overall contrast to your film. So as you can see, if you wait and you actually collapse this, as you can see, that gives a better effect, and it really looks like a professional camera in my opinion. So if we look at before, this was a simple blank layer, and this is after we do color grading. As you can see, a big difference here, a lot more details and sharpness in our areas here. So you can always play around with the different aspects of it. I wouldn't say you go too crazy with the curves, because you can easily ruin your color grade if you do it too much. So if you look here, this looks pretty good. Nice cinematic look to it. I'm just gonna collapse that here, and you can also play around with Hsl Secondary. And as you can see, if we collapse this here, you can have a key effect where you can remove certain colors from your film, and you also have this refine effect where you can reduce blur from your video. I don't suggest doing that. It gives a mushy look, should I say, and it actually disrupts your sharpness of your film. Now if you do refine the blur, you can always sharpen it back by using the sharpening tool. I am just going to increase the contrast by about 27. This is going to give a greater effect when it comes to cinematic grading. Now you can also add a tint effect, or you can move it in the opposite direction to add a negative tint effect. And you also have your temperature. So if you want to decrease the temperature of your film, you can easily do that. So if I do playback here, you should see some improvement within your film. As you can see, we are actually seeing some very nice cinema grading. And if I just pause the video and I look at before and after, this was the clip actually before. Let's just wait a few minutes. As you can see, this was before, and if I just click it back again, this would be now, and this should appear in about a few seconds. And there you go. As you can see, we did a very cool effect within After Effects. So if you guys did enjoy this tutorial, please leave a like and subscribe, guys, because it really helps the channel grow. We are almost at 500 subscribers. So guys, please leave a like and comment down below what's your favorite part of this tutorial. Okay guys, so see you later.